Welcome to CosmoFactory, a podcast by Cosmoprof Worldwide Bologna, where we explore the entire cosmetics, personal care, and fragrance industry supply chain. I'm your host, Deanna Utrusky, and here at CosmoFactory, we look beyond the trends to discover the ideas, initiatives, and innovations that are truly advancing beauty. Let's get started. In this episode, we will discuss contract manufacturing, product innovation, indie beauty, industry transparency, sustainability in manufacturing, and more. Joining me today on the CosmoFactory podcast is Arwen Imperatori, Communication Manager at Ancorotti Cosmetics. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent. I'm so glad you could be here. So Ancorotti is a contract manufacturer based here in Italy, where we're interviewing at the CosmoPac section of the show here. Go ahead and introduce everyone in case they don't know your company.
Yes, of course. We are a contract manufacturing company. We are based in Crema, in northern Italy. We formulate and produce skincare and makeup products. And we have clients all over the world.
Yeah, and you were telling me a little bit before we got started that one of the company's specialties is mascara. Tell me some of those fun facts.
Yes, indeed. Actually, we started with mascara. It was the first product that we developed in 2009. Mr. Ancorotti really launched this project, thinking of mascara as the right product to start a company, because it's a very sophisticated product, and he had the experience to suggest the best combination between the formula, the brush, the packaging. It's actually a system, a mascara system made of multiple components that it's a symphony. They need to work well together. And the fun facts are that now we are the most important mascara producer in the world, and 1 out of 4 mascaras that you find on the market is our mascara. It's, let's say, not our, of course, our clients, but it's Ancorotti made, let's say. We have a huge capacity, and if we count all the mascaras we are able to produce in 1 year, we would cover this distance between the North and the South Pole. So it's a huge capacity.
Yes. No, that's amazing. And of course, you've grown well beyond mascaras. You mentioned skincare, makeup. Help me think about the product categories that you produce.
Yeah, basically all makeup categories and skincare more recently.
Sure.
But yes, even though we recently started with skincare, we already won the formulation.
Let's talk about that. Yeah. So here at CosmoPac, we had the award ceremony last night.
Yeah, we did.
And Ancorotti had an award-winning product.
Yeah, amazing news. We were really glad about this result because we are really focusing on skincare in the last years of research and development. It's a product that's called gummy soap. It's actually they are 2 globes in one product. It's a treatment. It's a single-use treatment. It's created from 99% natural ingredients. The orange part, because there are 2 hemispheres, the orange gummy is infused with orange blossom flower water and an orange flower scent.
Okay.
So it plays really with visual and smell with your senses. Also, they are cleansing gummies. So when you apply them on your wet skin, they create, let's say, a foam, a cleansing foam that really has many properties, many skin-loving properties, like it's antioxidant, it's sebum regulating, they have toning properties. This is actually the yellow part of the product, because it's meant as a treatment, a daily treatment. during the morning, you can get energized. You energize your skin with the orange part, the orange sphere, and you can use the yellow one as a calming,
And if I may,
treatment.
and tell me if I'm saying this wrong, but it's designed as a small package. You would peel off the top,
Exactly.
and you can see on one side the sphere that you would use in the morning, and on the other side the sphere you would use in the afternoon
Yeah, no,
or the
it's
evening.
very cool to see. So the visual was very, well thought, because it's a clamshell, let's say, packaging.
If someone listening wants to look at this, is there a place on the website or maybe even the CosmoPack site where the awards are shown?
Sure. As finalists and then as winners.
Yes.
Plus they contain eco-friendly ingredients. Some of them are produced by fermentation, so there's a very interesting story in terms of ingredients.
Yeah.
Yes, that's basically
excellent. Yeah. No, thank you for that. And can you tell me more then about the company's move into skincare, or maybe even adding skincare benefits into some of the more conventional makeup products? Let's talk about that.
Of course. Let's say that, as we say, makeup only is over. Nobody wants just makeup. Now we really think of makeup as a fusion of course, color result, but also skincare properties. Mm-hmm. So we are really focusing on developing, hybrid products and, makeup that has takes from skincare all the research about actives, for instance, and also the functionality of these actives. So we really don't want just color payoff, but also effectiveness, let's say. Yes.
No, that makes sense. I hear that from so many different experts in the industry, and it's changing, I think, the formulation strategy in many ways, and partly I hear this said a lot. It's more a shift now from, I guess, what could we call it, straight chemistry into more biology.
Yes,
for color cosmetics, where it wasn't necessarily that way, where color was for a long time, very fun for classical chemists. And now it really requires a combination of those skill sets, neither of which I have, so I can't elaborate.
Well, neither do I, but we have 50 people in R&D that luckily do.
No, that's terrific. That's terrific. And I imagine then you're seeing your customer ask for these sorts of benefits.
Yes. It's something, it's a input, let's say, from our customers. Of course, we formulate, we customize our formulas according to their needs. And their needs right now is to have something performant in terms of color and performant in terms of skin benefits. And so, especially for complexion, but it's not just about complexion products. I mean, as we are big mascara producers, I mean, they look for benefits such as, to protect the hair or to stimulate their growth.
Yes.
And that's sort of, and that in this case, it takes from hair care.
Of course. But it very much the same sort of consumer expectation that color cosmetic products should have benefits as well. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. So we know that not only is the company award-winning this year, but everyone, comes to the show here to CosmoPack, to CosmoProf Worldwide Bologna, to see what's new and next in the industry. And I know the team at Ancorotti is showing some new product prototypes or starter formulas. Talk to me about what is new and next.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Every year we bring here at CosmoProf, I mean, it's the most important appointment for us during the year. We present our innovation, our new collections, our marketing and R&D experts work on these collections throughout the year, and this is sort of the showcase of 1 year of hard work for us. Here we present collections that really try to give a voice to the trends that are now emerging in the makeup and skincare world. We are focusing on, of course, environmental responsibility, and so we are really taking that into account when developing new products.
Of course.
It's not a trend, but it's a mindset to us. And starting from that, we work on giving these sustainable product effectiveness. And also we really are focusing on consumer experience, customer experience, meaning the final customer.
Yes.
We want our products not only to deliver payoff and skincare benefits. We add another layer to that. It's the pleasure that the user derives from using the product. Now, we'd like to amaze, the user and with transformative textures.
Can you give some examples from this year's collection?
Yes, of course. I mean, so we go beyond categorization. We go beyond application area. We go beyond even the most well-known categories in formulation terms, like emulsions, powder. We really, we really develop a mix of those things and try to deliver products that really are studied to amaze, to give pleasure to those who are using them. Because at the end of the day, it's all about well-being, So we are really studying this aspect of the product. And of course, we are also working on manufacturing techniques. In fact, the other product that was finalist in makeup was a powder that was injected. So it's again a mixture of a liquid formula that becomes a powdery one, and the visuals are stunning. Yes, because we obtained multiple colors, multiple finishes inside the same godet, and with well-defined lines and designs. So yes, that's another thing we are studying. So the look of the product and its usability.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Some folks listening might know I recently had the opportunity to interview the Vice President and CEO of Ancorotti Cosmetics, Enrica Monica Ancorotti.
Yes.
Ancorotti, excuse me, for an article that was published on the CosmoProf site. And our focus for that interview was really about how your company as a contract manufacturer is serving independent brands, which sometimes are smaller, sometimes are niche. As they emerge, sometimes they're a very rapid growth. I'm hoping you can help me think a little bit more then about how Ancorotti serves the indie brands.
Yes, sure. We serve many kind of customers.
Yes.
I mean, from big corporations to startups. In the case of indie brands, I mean, in being indie brand means that you have a lot of potential, and that's great. You have the world to discover in terms of growth.
Yes.
So it means that it's an investment to us as well, in a way. So we'd like to think of ourselves as partners that can help you growth, not just suppliers. That's why even maybe for quantities that are not those of a corporation, we try to accommodate. Plus, they are very interested in innovation. They launch a lot of new products because, of course, they need to create a presence, and they need to create their identity in the market. It's a very crowded market, especially their target, usually it's the young generation with social media. It's a lot. It takes a lot of, attractiveness to really stand out in this kind of market. And we are, of course, at their disposal, giving inputs because we have a privileged overview of the market.
Right.
Because we know what the market will look like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now, because we are briefed by all those brands. So we see where the market is going and we can advise. That's really the added value of a manufacturer like us.
Yeah, no, I think that's a wonderful point, because we often think about independent brand founders and brand leaders, for their innovation, right? For their interest in, something new and filling consumer needs that are maybe unmet. They tend to be very close to their consumer. They tend to be very passionate about what they're developing. And I think from what you've described, it sounds like a very good fit of perspectives, right? Whether that founder, has experience in the industry or not, bringing that together with a contract manufacturer perspective, like you're describing.
Of course.
Amazing things can happen.
Yes, absolutely. So feel free to come to us.
I mean, that it's refreshing. It's easy to sit here and think that anyone I'm interviewing for this, right, theoretically is selling something, whether it's, a brand founder, or even someone within a company. I had one of the podcast interviews I did recently was with a woman who focused on product development. And she has to now go back from the show and sell her team on what she saw. So, everyone is selling something, but I think it's very admirable that a company like Ancorotti is welcoming indie brands, because 5 years, 7 years ago, I would talk to brand founders and, folks who were trying to get startup products going. And it was very difficult for them to find manufacturers that were, willing to engage with them, like you suggested, offer smaller minimum order quantities, trade ideas, right? Share those trends and information with people who might not necessarily be as experienced in the industry. So I think it's amazing to hear how your company is supporting the indie business, but really how so many manufacturers and suppliers now recognize the value of that sector of our industry. So yeah, it's a sales pitch, but it's a very refreshing.
Yes, it's refreshing, and also the way they work, it's refreshing.
Yes.
We are, let's say, we are a big company in contract manufacturing, but we are still a family. Mr. Ancorotti and his daughter are all day in the office, and we really like to think of ourselves as a family, and we are flexible, and so maybe startups and indie brands are more like us in a sense, and it's a good collaboration. It's a good synergy.
I love that. Thank you. Another thing I learned through the interview I had with Enrica was about a project you have where you're letting brands or helping brands perhaps film within your factory and actually share that manufacturing process, maybe on Instagram, with the end consumer. Tell me a little bit about that initiative and maybe some other aspects of transparency that come with working with a company like Ancorotti.
Sure. That's something that came up because frequently we started to get asked about filming the production live, of the products. So it's a request by brands and indie brands. Of course, being on social, they were the first they were the first to share this behind the scenes, let's say,
Yeah.
thing. So the industrial process, the research process, the lab. They are really interesting in sharing with their audience, with their followers, the behind the scenes of the products they sell. It's a matter of transparency. They have a very direct relationship with their audience. And that's why probably I assume they really want to have visual material from us.
Yes.
And we are glad. I mean, we are used to work behind the scenes, and nobody in the general world of consumers. It's a complex industry, so maybe consumers are not that aware of what is behind the development and manufacturing of a product. And I think that sharing this aspect, the life of a product before they sell it with the audience is very refreshing, as you said before. And now big brands want that too. I mean, they want to adopt some communication techniques from the indie brands because they are so much successful online. So they borrow from them, and now even bigger brands want to showcase or share the manufacturing experience as well. And I think that's a great trend because consumers want to be informed.
Absolutely.
They want to know where their products come from. Also because in some ways we are brands too. I mean, we are a guarantee of quality.
Yes.
And so they feel reassured if they know that a product, for instance, is made by Ancorotti, made in Italy, made with the utmost, quality standards. And brands are starting to understand that.
Yeah.
And the spotlight is not shifting, but enlarging.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. We can see more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And since we were just talking about seeing inside the manufacturing process, I know you have a super cool building that you are doing this manufacturing in.
We are so proud of it.
Yeah, tell me more.
So, yes, the plant we own in Crema, our hometown, used to be a factory of typewriters. So they used to produce typewriting machines.
Yes.
It was owned by the Olivetti Industries, and then it was abandoned for decades.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ancorotti used to look at his window because our first building was nearby, and he used to look at his window and think, okay, I mean, that is such a thing that inside our small town stands out as a huge pity. I mean, there's this building that was designed, by the way, that by Renzo Piano and Marco Zanussi, I mean, worldwide known architects. That was completely, in decadence. And so he decided at one point, recently actually, so a few years ago, to restore it, repurpose it.
Yes.
And now it's a factory that produces beauty.
Yeah.
And that's great because, many of our citizens in our town used to rely on that factory. And it really gives employment to, a huge part of the population of the area. And also, I mean, it's a beautiful building that was really interesting to bring to new life.
Yeah, no, I love that. It has a lot to do with the history of the community. As you're
Yes.
saying, many people were employed in this typewriter
Yes.
factory.
Plus, I mean, with zero land consumption, we managed to, expand our facilities, and we implemented, of course, the measures, sustainability measures, and now we really reduced our impact, and that makes us really proud.
Yeah, and rightly so. I think, it's very common, especially I'm coming from the States, to always build something new and, talk about the materials that went into it and their sustainability features, which is perfectly valid. But here was this beautiful building,
Yes,
right? That was
exactly.
obviously structurally sound. You're able to,
Yes.
to be in there and didn't need to be replaced, didn't need to
No.
become waste.
Exactly.
So I think that's very, very compelling story there. Can you talk about other sustainability initiatives in place at Ancorotti?
Yes, of course. I mean, what comes to mind is our partnership with DHL, for instance, for our shipping activities. We started, I think, 3 years ago with DHL Go Green. It's a program that allowed you to offset emissions through climate protection projects all over the world. And now we switched to always with DHL to Go Green Plus. So it means insetting emissions. So we are basically sponsoring the use of sustainable fuel, especially in aviation.
Okay.
This is something that comes to mind. Another thing, I mean, there's solvent used in our formulation. Of course, then it evaporates, but we need it to work powders into liquid form. And we have a plant that is able to regenerate it. It's a very advanced plant. We do not waste, this solvent, but we are able to use it into multiple production cycles, which is really an avant-garde system. Yes.
Yeah, excellent. Was there something else you wanted to share on the topic?
Well, there are many things.
Well, we were just talking about how there are so many things the end consumer does not see in terms of manufacturing.
Sure.
And I think a lot of these sustainability initiatives in many ways are invisible too, whether it, and even within our own industry. So I'm happy to hear more about what you're doing.
I mean, let's say that we, of course, we do everything to rationalize consumption in general. With the new building, it's very easy. We really designed the manufacturing process in a let's say manufacturing 4.0 perspective.
Yes.
So with these smart devices and smart equipment we really can measure, which is very important, and then act to tackle where we can and optimize where we can. But we also actually are interested in the future of sustainability, and we are part of many programs with universities, for instance, to see how we can use waste and so not throw away what we waste in terms of manufacturing process, but reuse it, for instance, through microalgae.
Okay.
There's plenty of, initiatives, and we really are partners of those initiatives because we really want to collaborate with research centers that can really offer us an alternative to standard waste disposal, and that's very interesting. In terms of formulation, an example could be the upcycling of materials, of byproducts from other industries, such as the food industry or the textile. We use those materials, let's say orange water that is extracted from the peels
Okay.
of the fruit, and we put that into our formulations so that we don't use new resources, but always, resources that are already available.
Sure.
It's the same philosophy of the building, let's say. Make the most of what is available, what is already used, and give new life always.
Yes. Oh, that's excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Are there questions that I should have asked you that I did not ask you yet?
Well, probably, but you're welcome. Anytime. That was a great opportunity to talk about our company and our philosophy. But I think that's pretty much all.
Wonderful.
We are a complex word, and to be discovered, and we're very open to new collaborations.
Excellent. Arwen, I thank you so much for joining me on the
Thank
CosmoFactory
you, Diana.
podcast.
Really, thanks.
Thank you so much for listening. If you find the CosmoFactory podcast useful, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review and share your thoughts so even more cosmetic industry professionals can discover the CosmoFactory. I'm Deanna Utrusky. Please join me again next Tuesday for a new episode of the CosmoFactory podcast.